Hello, I am MongoSlade, and I'm about to try to get through Monday Night Raw as quickly as possible. Let's see how far we can get. All right, but first, news and notes. There has been some discussion about Lashley and MVP both leaving WWE. MVP has not formally retired, but the conversation is that his contract is going to lapse. Same with Lashley. PW Insider kind of took the story and kind of corrected it a little bit by saying that Lashley actually does have a contract, but since he hasn't been getting used, he's going to test the free agent market. So he's kind of being kind of like an edge situation where they sent him a contract just to say that they sent it, but who knows what the hell is in it and whether the damn thing is any good. So I watched for like 2 days as people called Triple H a racist, called Triple H, a guy who doesn't know how to book black talent. And some of that stuff made me nod because I have agreed with some of it. I am one person who has always slow to call somebody a racist. I looked at the Latinos, the Asians, most of the whites. They aren't being booked very well, to be quite honest. There are no Asians being booked well. There's Latino champions, but are they really booked well? Not really. So if you compare the black talent being pushed to the Asians, the Latinos, and the whites, the only difference is, I guess, the whites and the Latinos have more champions. But everybody's being pushed pretty poorly. The big issue is that there are no major black talent anymore, and that is a problem. Especially when you consider that just 2 or 3 years ago, people like Bianca Belair, the Street Profits, were in commercials and were highly visible. And now you really don't see them do much of anything at all. Even though I do know that Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair did like hot ones earlier today, July the 22nd, 2024. So I'm slow to call him a racist. I just think that he's incompetent. And I think that TKO is cutting off a lot of the money that they use for marketing and promoting talent, and that they're putting that money towards something else, or they're putting it in their pocket. But it's certainly not, Grandpa Vince's WWF or WWE, where the talent was heavily promoted, they were heavily featured, and certain people felt like the star of the show. That's just not the case anymore. It's an ensemble cast, which is what they wanted for years, is to try to make multiple stars. And in reality, nobody looks like a star because nobody gets a lot of time to do anything. This is what they wanted. They don't want to have one star. They want to have multiple stars. So instead of one star, you got a bunch of smaller stars. And I guess it's working out for them right now, even though, again, all of this stuff is just what Vince had in place, with the exception of Gunther and Damian Priest. And they're doing okay, I guess you could say. But let's start right there. Gunther came out. It looked like he was going to apologize for what he said last week. But then he said, "You know what? I meant every word." And then he called the Damian Priest and the fans some bums. He called Judgment Day street trash. Gunther is out there in a t-shirt again. Shouldn't he be wearing a suit? I know it's summertime. I know it's hot. I get it. But if he's going to go out there and call everybody street trash, he should at least dress the part. He used to wear a suit. Now he's not wearing suits anymore. And what is going on here? So Damian Priest came out, punched him right in the face. We lead to a brawl out there and a brawl backstage. That didn't mean much of anything. They're just throwing random punches at each other. Whatever. Finn Balor was upset. So he's tired of being disrespected. So he wants to have a match with Gunther next week. That ought to be interesting. Kind of a waste of time, too. Ilya Dragunov loses to Braun Breaker again, this time by TKO. Outside the ring, he gets speared and his head bounced off the LED board. Couldn't continue. The ref stopped the match. Look, these guys have pretty good matches, but this is like the second match in a month. Or are they going to have one match a month or something like that? There has to be other people you can put in these positions and actually, build Ilya Dragunov instead of just trying to coast off his reputation, because he's in a situation much like Carmelo Hayes, where if you haven't watched NXT, why do you care about him? Okay, so Braun Breaker beat this guy. So what? He already beat him. It doesn't mean, and it's not like Ilya Dragunov won some kind of huge match between the last time he lost to Braun Breaker and this time he lost to Braun Breaker. He hasn't. He just lost to Sami Zayn or something in between. Anyway, Sami Zayn said he's not concerned about Braun Breaker, which is a hell of a way to build your new superstar. I don't care about you, even though I'm smaller than you, flabbier than you, pastier than you, older than you, with bad knees and bad backs and bad shoulders. You young, muscly. You're a Ferrari of a human being, and I'm an old pickup truck, but I ain't scared of you. Like, great job. Sami Zayn had to save Jey Uso from Judgment Day, who was kicking his shit in because Jey Uso was flirting with Rhea Ripley, and that upset Dominic. And Finn Balor decided he was the leader now. So he says, we need to handle this Jey Uso thing. And Rhea Ripley was like, no, don't leave him alone. And Finn Balor was like, why are you trying to protect him? And she's like, I'm not, but I'm just saying, I don't understand why we got to go to war. And Balor just did what he does. He did what he wanted to do. Rhea was upset about that anyway. Let's just move forward. Finn Balor picked a fight with Jey Uso. Sami Zayn saved him. This ended up being a tag team match at the end of the show. And the tag team champions, Big Head Ass, JD McDonough, and Finn Balor, lost to Sami Zayn and Jey Uso. Congratulations. You made your tag team champions look like idiots, and they're losers. Thumbs up. Great job. And Braun Breaker speared Sami Zayn to go off the air. Don't care about this at all. This is highly unfortunate. More, I don't care about JD McDonough one bit. Not one bit. But if you're going to keep featuring, it seems like Judgment Day has been in this same position for over a year. They talk 100 backstage segments, and they lose a lot, especially in tag team matches and 6-man tags and stuff. They don't come across it. Like, when you compare them to, I don't know, the Bloodline, what's the comparison? The Bloodline are full-grown adult males who look like they actually beat people up. Judgment Day look like Hot Topic Burger King Kids Club. Random Latinos, and Rhea Ripley's the only woman, and it's just real stupid. Let's just move on. They had a video for Nikki Cross, or the quote witch-like being, they called her a witch-like being. What the hell does that mean? Anyway, they was talking about how she had been lied to, she had been ignored, and she suffered in solitude. But that was it. We didn't go any further than that. That was until after this utterly pathetic 6-man tag. This was the part that took all the air out of my balloon. Xavier Woods, Otis, and Akira Tozawa. And it's Akira Tozawa's birthday. Like I care. Nobody cares about Akira Tozawa and his birthday. And they were defeated by the Final Testament. Karrion Kross shades, he looked like Earthworm Jim. Whenever somebody, full-grown man, is walking around with no beard, he looks like Earthworm Jim. And Karrion Kross, no different. Xavier Woods, it's been 10 years of New Day. 10 years, a decade of New Day. They celebrated it, I think, over the weekend. Wow. I feel every second of those 10 years. Holy moly. I can't believe they're still going. What a disaster. Anyway, Otis is in his hometown and he lost. I didn't know that because they never announce hometowns anymore. So, Otis, I think the one who lost, maybe he took the pin. I don't remember who took the pin. I didn't barely watch this thing. Chad Gable, after the match, says that he wanted those guys to rejoin the Alpha Academy along with him and the Creed brothers. Otis said no. Gable sicked the Creed brothers on them. Then they beat him up. Otis ended up beating up the Creed brothers by himself. And I was like, oh boy. These guys are giants in comparison to Chad Gable, and they just go down so easily. They end up 3-on-1 beating up Otis. Then the Wyatt stuff happens. The Creed brothers are idiots. They stand in the aisleway with chairs, which of course leads to Uncle Howdy attacking Chad Gable from behind with Sister Abigail's kiss. The crowd liked it. I don't understand what's going on. I do appreciate it. It seems like Bo Dallas got in better shape. He seems to have lost some weight. Looking at his arms, he doesn't look like he's cut up, but he does look like he's in better shape. I don't understand what is going on here. Like, you have Chad Gable involved like 2 or 3 stories. I can't figure out which direction he's going in, or what's the next match for him? Is it Bo Dallas? Is it Otis? What are you doing? They finally got around to the Creeds and Chad Gable being partners, and now they're tied up in some version of Nightmare on Elm Street. I don't know what's going on, man. Like, who is Chad Gable feuding with? Or is he just, random guy on the show having random encounters like it's, some kind of RPG video game? You know how you play Final Fantasy VII and you're just walking along and you have to fight like random monsters? Is that what's going on with Chad Gable? Like, he has no real direction. He's just on side missions. Because he was supposed to be the Intercontinental Champion, but he's way off track. Way off track. Now he's way out in the weeds. Nobody knows what the hell's going on anymore. Lyra Valkyria was defeated by Sonya Deville. Okay, I didn't hate that. There was a clash of the crews outside the ring because Casey Squared is out there. And so is Sonya with her League of Extraordinary Lesbians. They were come back because they weren't done for the evening. When Zelina Vega showed up to defeat Zoe Stark, the League of Extraordinary Lesbians was out there as well, and so was Casey Squared and Lyra Valkyria. They all clashed together. Zelina Vega, she cut a promo on Twitter where she was talking about it was time for her to get the ball. Basically, it was the same kind of thing that Dakota Kai had done, except Triple H actually seemed to have listened to her because she got a egregiously long match on this show. This match was much longer than it should have been, especially considering Zelina Vega supposedly had one arm. I think if you want to try to make a star out of her, look, for starters, she's very, very small, but she needs to have her own theme song and her own personality. Just being Zelina Vega, member of the LWO, sucks. This is why you can't put everybody in a faction. These people need to be individuals. Zoe Stark blows. She lost. Who cares? The tag team champions, Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, backstage, and once again, the League of Extraordinary Lesbians walk up to them, claim that they didn't run a division. I feel like we've done this 5 times already. This feels like a rerun. This is what an embarrassment. That sucks. Look, Zelina Vega is fine. I think she fits more as a manager than an actual regular in-ring performer. I don't hate her matches. It's just that she's so tiny that it's hard for me to take her seriously in there with like a Bianca Belair or a Rhea Ripley or Charlotte or somebody else. She feels more like a person that would be an annoyance rather than a threat. But then again, that's also kind of how the situation we're in with Liv Morgan. But I like Zelina Vega more than I like Dakota Kai. And if you're going to listen to somebody who says it's time for them to break through and give them a chance, Zelina Vega is one of the people I will listen to. She's actually pretty good. Lyra Valkyria, well, she's lost in the shuffle already. Casey Squared, not only are they under the shuffle, they are the shuffle at this point. They're not just lost in it. Anyway, let's move on. CM Punk, he's medically cleared. Now he wants to fight Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre wants to fight too, but only at SummerSlam. Adam Pearce got in the way, set a date. There's going to be a special guest referee. It's Seth freaking Rollins, who is still dressing like a woman again. I don't like it. No good. Drew McIntyre is pissed about this. Adam Pearce has a drink. He's got a drinking problem. It seems like every week he says, I need to have a drink. Like, somebody should be watching this and paying attention. Like, this guy drinks on the job way too much. Somebody needs to do something. Well, when you see how this card is put together, somebody's clearly drunk. Who the hell would book Tozawa on your show? My God. As far as the Drew McIntyre Punk Seth Rollins, everybody knows this is just a rehash of SummerSlam '97 with Taker, Brett, and Shawn. And you had Taker versus Brett with Shawn as the referee. And you saw how that worked out. You know, CM Punk loves him some Bret Hart. He also apparently loves him some Shawn Michaels too. Now, I guess. But I guess Seth Rollins is in the Shawn Michaels position, which would make Drew McIntyre the Undertaker, even though he's a crybaby. I don't know, man. But that's clearly the direction that they're going in. The title should be on the line here, but they're doing it just for the love. I was okay with it before they decided to do the special guest referee. I don't like the special guest referee. Hopefully they do something silly where they put Seth Rollins outside the ring and they just let Drew and Punk have their match, because I'm looking forward to that match. I don't want shenanigans and angles and stuff being dumped all in it, which is exactly what they're trying to do. This is going to be CM Punk's very first WWE match outside of the Royal Rumble since he returned. You know, well, I guess he worked on some house shows before he worked the Royal Rumble. This is going to be his first pay-per-view match. And you're going to turn it into an angle, which is apparently going to, I guess, end his feud with Drew McIntyre, or at least temporarily put it on the side to continue his feud with Seth Rollins. Because I would imagine when you look at SummerSlam 97, Shawn spit on Brett. Brett swung the chair, hit Undertaker in the head, pinned Taker, and then the three-person feud continued. They're already embroiled in a three-person feud. So I would imagine Seth is going to end up spitting on Punk, and Punk's going to wig out and end up hitting Drew in the head with a chair or something. Drew's going to lose, blame Seth for his loss, and then he's going to want to kill Seth. But he already wants to kill Seth, so I don't understand what's going on here and why they're doing that. But it's fine. I don't hate it. You know, it's just I know what's coming. You can see this coming a mile away, unfortunately, but whatever. Bronson Reed was supposed to wrestle Pete Dunne. Didn't happen because Sheamus beat them both up. That was hilarious. Then he told Pete Dunne whatever problems he had, he could either go to the bar or he could fight him. I think when you beat the shit out of him and pump knee him in the chin, you've already made your decision. I don't understand why you even offered to drink. I guess he had to get his lick back, but damn. Bronson Reed, boy, what a waste of space that guy is, huh? My goodness. He is a waste. Talk about a guy spinning his wheels. He's spinning them wheels. He ain't moved not one bit in a year. You know how much of a loser you got to be in the same place for multiple years? Sheesh. Okay, so that's pretty much Raw right there. Rikishi is very angry. He's very upset about Jey Uso being involved with this storyline with Rhea Ripley, Dominic Mysterio, and Liv Morgan. And you know what? It's kind of dumb. Like, I know he's saying, like, Jey is hot right now. He's selling a bunch of merchandise. It's time to... He started to complain when Jey didn't win Money in the Bank. That's when he started to complain. Now it's... He doesn't want to be in this storyline. What are you trying to do? Break up his family? It's like, you know this is a work. His wife is... How long did him and his wife been married? Unless they got married yesterday. She knows that this is a work. Furthermore, everybody involved except Liv Morgan is married. Everybody. Dominic's married. Rhea's married. Jay's married. You know, like, there is no single people in this situation to complicate matters. I get that he's frustrated that his son finally broke through as a singles act and he wants, you know, another world championship in the family, but that's just not going to happen. That's not going to happen, bro. I hate to break it to you. It probably should have, but you can forget it. Speaking of which, let's wrap things up with the Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan piece. Rhea Ripley was upset Dominic Mysterio kept running into Liv Morgan, especially when they were out on the hunt to beat up Jey Uso. Rhea decided she was going to handle Liv Morgan by calling her out in the ring. Dominic Mysterio was out there being shoved because he was forced to come along from what it looks like. Liv Morgan says that she wants to fight too, but she can wait for SummerSlam because she's got self-control. Then she says that she's got feelings for Dominic. Dominic has feelings for her. And that Rhea Ripley is jealous because girls that look like her, being Rhea, don't get gorgeous men like Dominic. Gorgeous men like Dominic are into women like Liv. And she spun around with her booty cheeks in these cut off jeans. And everybody on the internet completely lost their mind. I mean, I just started seeing that picture everywhere. Just booty butt cheeks all over the internet, which is great for her because now people see who she is. I bet everybody know who she is now, right? In any event, Dominic promised Rhea Ripley he was going to handle it. He's got this taken care of. He gets on the microphone, tells Liv Morgan that he hates her. She's ruined his life. He's yelling at her in Spanish, and she goes from smiling and grinning to frowning and crying, and she storms off, disappointed and upset that Dominic yelled at her that he hated her guts. Rhea Ripley was very happy about this. She kissed him on the cheek, and it all seems like Dirty Dom is out of the doghouse, and he's back where he should be as the side piece to Rhea Ripley. This is obviously a ruse, right? Or it might be all part of Finn Balor's plan to break up Judgment Day from the inside. I don't know. But it was clear from the beginning that Dominic is with that Hector Guerrero mustache. It's so weird. That mustache is so problematic. His life got turned upside down as soon as he grew that damn mustache, right? Anyway, it's clear that this is a setup. That the only way to get out of this thing for Liv Morgan to beat Rhea Ripley is for either Dominic or Finn Balor to turn heel. Well, they're already healed. To turn on Rhea and cost her the match. Common sense would say Dominic, but I think the off chance is that it's going to be Finn Balor, who's going to cost Rhea the title, because he keeps being mischievous, jumping into things and trying to get, and stirring the pot. He was doing that with Liv, and it seemed like that's going to be the direction that they were going in, is that they're going to have Finn Balor as the shit stirrer, and he's going to be the one that's going to end up getting Dominic in some real trouble, and probably end up being the one that's going to turn on Rhea and getting both her and Damian Priest kicked out of the group so that he could take it over, which is what most people thought it should have been in the first place, is with Finn Balor as the leader. So, booty butt cheeks, Liv Morgan all over the internet. That's great. But outside of that, not much else to talk about on this show. It seems like we're in a holding pattern until SummerSlam, which is unfortunate because Triple H thinks he could just heat things up with one hot angle, which probably should be coming up soon because it's about that time. It's about that time to pop an angle, so he's probably about to do something. But it's nice that CM Punk is back and we finally announced that he's going to have a match. But that's about it. That's the only thing that really happened on this show. This Wyatt stuff is not booked for anything. So they're not booked for any matches at SummerSlam. They're not booked for any appearances at any shows, so whatever. I don't know what's going on. And quite frankly, don't care. Can't wait for all the think pieces about Liv Morgan's objectification. How she's walking around in coochie cutters, Daisy Dukes with her booty cheeks out. Booty butt, booty butt, booty butt cheeks. Can't wait. It's going to be amazing watching all these people lose their minds because some guys somewhere, slapping a stick in the corner because, little Liv Morgan was wearing her booty cheeks out. Oh my God. Can't wait for the English peasants to be so offended that they called the BBC because little Liv Morgan's booty cheeks out. Get the hell out of here, man. But that's what I give this show. I give this show 2 cheeks. End of. Thank you for your time.